Who can mention one type of fruit? Iambic fruit. Now the fruit is used to determine the length of lines in poetry. The length of lines in poetry. When you talk about fruits, one thing should come to your mind: stressed and unstressed syllables. You know, there are some fruits that have stressed and unstressed syllables. Some have only stress, some have both stress, some have only unstressed syllables. You use foot to determine the length of lines in poetry. So that is that. Foot is used to determine the length of lines in poetry. Oh, so that I will not forget. All right. Then stress. Stress. When you mention stress, you're trying to tell us that you're talking about the accented parts in a word, the accented syllable in a word. The part that the syllable that receives attention, the syllable where you lay emphasis on during pronunciation is the stressed part. Is that clear? Is the stressed part. Example, unite. Unite. Night is the stressed part. Is the part that receives stress. The part that receives stress. Next one. Rhyme scheme, the blank verse and the free verse. You know, there's need to let you to recall, to get you to remember, to make you recall again that the rhyme scheme is used to define your rhyme in poetry. Use the rhyme scheme to define the rhyme in poetry. If you just take, for instance, let me see. Look at your rhyme scheme. I told you that if you want to do rhyme scheme, you don't use the upper case of the alphabet. Use the lower case. You don't use the upper case, use the lower case. Now, if you want to do that, start with your letter A, the first letter of the alphabet. That's what you use, A to Z, depends on what you get. If you see A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E, F, F, G, G, H, H, I, I, J, J, K, K, L, L, and we sing poem that you see that one till Z, then you do A, B, 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 C, C, C. We continue like that. That's how it works. So the rhyme scheme helps us to define rhyme, define the sound in a poem. You understand? The time you want your town to raise, A. We cheer it through the marketplace, A. Man and boy keep cheering by, B. And home we brought you shoulder high, B. So that's rhyme scheme. And your blank verse. Blank verse is a type of poem written in iambic pentameter, but does not have rhyme. That's a blank verse. A type of poem written in iambic pentameter, but does not have rhyme. Is that clear? Type of poem written in iambic pentameter, but does not have rhyme. Yes, the blank verse is a type of poem written in iambic pentameter, but does not have rhyme. Yes, we have the free verse. The free verse is a type of poem that's a type of poem that's a type of poem that does not. Free verse is a type of poem that does not follow any definite pattern of writing. Does not follow any definite pattern of writing. You won't see that the poet say stanza 1 4 lines, stanza 2 4 lines, no, stanza 3 4 lines, no way. We just write his poem. If you want to get a free verse, I told you, go and read. Read A Government Driver on His Retirement. It's a free verse. Read this poem, John of the Major. It's a free verse. You see it. These ones, there's no fixed rule, no definite rule, no rhyme, no good. They didn't say we are working on social and symmetrical arrangement, but it will be having 10 syllables per line. No, just free. That type of poem. Then we have metaphor, apostrophe, oxymoron, metonymy. Who can define metaphor? Godwin, it's time for you to help yourself. Maybe you can get something. Same kind. You are true. It's a figure of speech used when two. It's okay. God bless you. You hear me? It's a figure of speech used when two different items with deep similarities are compared using as like seems or resembles. Seems or resembles. Then we have apostrophe. Apostrophe is a figurative that is used when you address something abstract or absent. You address an abstract or absent figure as though they are present and can respond to you. That is apostrophe. When you address something that cannot reply you, even if it is there, it's apostrophe. You want to start your car, you put the ignition. You start it, it's free to start. Start it, next thing for you to talk to it. Start it. Do this car, what is your problem? That is apostrophe. The car will not even answer you. You know? Apostrophe is a figure of speech used when you add something that cannot apply. One, something that is absent. Two, something that is abstract, an abstract figure that you cannot see. That is apostrophe. Take note of that one. There's another one. Oxymoron. the placing of two opposite or contradictory words side by side. That's the idea. Side by side, for the sake of emphasis. Then metonymy, figure of speech used. Figure of speech used when the symbol of something is used to represent the thing in itself. The figure of speech used when the symbol of something is used to represent the thing itself. That's metonymy. So if anyone I'm saying is not clear to you, you should ask a question while I'm fixing the rest. Rhyme scheme, no more. Rhyme scheme is used in literature to further describe the sound in a poem, in a rhymed verse. Today I'll win. Today I'll win like those who win. Today I'll win like those who win. Because of pride, he will not ride. What's the rhyme scheme? Quick. Today I'll win with those who win. Like those who win. Because of pride, he will not ride. A, B, B. Now, rhyme scheme is trying to make you understand. If they ask you, what's the rhyme scheme? And you've seen that the thing has rhyme. The first thing is, the first sound should be A. Are you following? The second sound, since it rhymes with this, win, win, repeat the A. The next sound does not rhyme, put B. Look at the fourth line. Because of that, it will not ride. Ride. You can see that look like. Put B. That makes it A, B, B. I wandered lonely as a crowd. They are to do this. That floats on high over hills and hills. Crowd. Daffodils. Trees. Breeze. What's the rhyme scheme? It's you fast. Hey.
Don't copy this thing called the code. Don't copy the. What's the rhyme scheme?
What's the rhyme scheme? Who can help? Mm-hmm. A, B, C, C. Very correct. Next one. I'll try it again. Couplets, meter, consonants. A couplet is a stanza of 2 lines. A couplet is a stanza of 2 successive rhymed lines. So it has 2 meanings. A couplet is a stanza of 2 successive rhymed lines, and a couplet is a stanza of 2 lines. You understand? Then meter, for instance, this is a couplet. Win and win, that is AA, is a couplet. Then meter is a poetic device. It's an element of poetry used to determine the number of feet in a poem. Okay, meter is used to determine the number of feet in a poem. Meter is used to determine the number of feet in a poem. Meter is used to determine the number of feet in a poem. Meter is used to determine how. Who can explain how? I've told you before. Meter is used to determine the number of feet in a poem. Now, we have one iambic foot in a line. That is iambic monometer. When we have 1 foot in a poem, when we have 1 foot in a line of poetry, it becomes monometer. A foot is monometer. Is that clear? 2 feet diameter, 3 feet triameter, 4 feet tetrameter, 5 feet pentameter, 6 feet hexameter, 7 feet heptameter, 8 feet octameter, 9 feet nonameter, 10 feet decameter. Take note of those ones. So that's a foot. So when we have 2 iambic feet in a line of poetry, you say it the line has iambic. When you have 2 iambic feet, what do you call it? Iambic diameter. When you have 3 trochaic feet, what will you call it? When you have 2 trochaic feet, what do you say? Two trochaic feet. Say it now. 2 trochaic feet. How do you call it? Complete the name. You say trochaic diameter. Trochaic diameter. Then consonance is used to talk about the repetition of the same consonant sound in the middle of words or at the end of words in a line of poetry or in a statement, depends. Ode, parody, epitaph, burlesque. An ode is a poem used to address a subject. An ode is a poem used to address a subject. An ode is a poem used to address a subject with some elements of praise. Is that clear? An ode is a poem used to address a subject with some elements of praise. An ode is a poem used to address a subject with some elements of praise. You see it? Don't forget that. An ode is a poem used to address a subject with some elements of praise. An ode is a poem used to address a subject with some elements of praise. A parody. A parody is a work you do to mock another person's work, at the same time try to correct them for not doing it right. Use a parody to mock another person's work, at the same time correcting them for not doing it right. Use a parody to mock another person's work, at the same time correcting them for not doing it right. Then we have epitaph. We have epitaph. An epitaph is an inscription on a tomb. 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 Yes, an epitaph is an inscription on a tomb. Burlesque is a type of drama that involves striptease. That drama that involves striptease. Kind of drama that involves striptease. A striptease is when characters appear nude on stage. Right. We have plot, conflict, climax, and denouement. What is plot? What is plot? Plot is the structure of a work of art. Plot is the structure of a work of art. Plot is the structure of a work of art. Plot is the structure of a work of art. The plot of a story gives you a direction on how the story will go. The plot of the story helps you to summarize. Plot can also be seen as the abridged or reduced version of a work of art, not laying out the main characters, the main settings, and major events. To reduce the work of art, that's the plot, but in as much as you reduce it, don't forget to include the major characters, major settings, and major events in the work. That is plot. And plot is important to the readers because it makes it easy for you to read the work, one. And if they write the plot, showing you the plot, makes you see the complete work, the full play, just within some things. You've read everything, you understand what the play is talking about, and you read more. But so the plot lets the author see the direction of the play, the work of art to go. Because before you start writing, you drop your plot down, you do a sketch of your plot, you write it out, then you start telling your story. Yes, that is what plot can actually do. Then conflict. Now I told you different stages of plot as well, ranging from exodium, which is exposition and introduction, to rising action, to complication, to climax, which is the crisis point, to anticlimax, which is the turning point. And anticlimax, you see the falling actions. Then you see the denouement. Anticlimax, you see the falling actions. You see the denouement. Denouement, resolution. Then we have a climax. Okay, conflict is the struggle between opposing forces in a work of art. Conflict is the struggle between opposing forces in a work of art. Conflict is the struggle between opposing forces in a work of art. Who are the opposing forces? The protagonist and the antagonist. They are the opposing forces. And they must always fight. There must be struggle between the two of them. That struggle for leadership, struggle to be the head, is called conflict. All right. I said climax is the highest point of conflict. Then denouement is that denouement is that stage in the plot of the story when all the conflicts have been resolved. It's all right. For this. So I said climax is the highest point of conflict in the plot of the story. This point where the struggle starts to speak. This is the point where it seems there is confusion in the camp of the audience or the readers. This is where the tension in fact, the tension is worst now. The tension you're feeling is worst right now. At this point, catharsis is over there because you'll be experiencing shock. There'll be fear all over the place because of conflict. Because we are at the climax stage, the highest point of conflict. Then the next one is denouement. Now this denouement is the last stage in the plot of the story when all the conflicts have been resolved. When all the conflicts have been resolved. Right. Okay. We said that ambos, ampes, datio, fruci. Ambos, call it ambos, but you can call it and foot is that foot that has unstressed syllable followed by stress syllable. Are you following me? Every foot has unstressed syllable followed by stress syllable. An apestic foot has two stress syllables and one stress syllable. See the way I'm doing it now? Two unstressed syllables and one stress syllable. Dactylic foot has one unstressed syllable followed by two stressed syllables. Then trochaic foot has one unstressed syllable followed by one stressed syllable followed by one stressed. Look at them on the board. If it look at them. So then when else you come across them, I have the foot unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable. An apostrophe foot, two unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable. Dactylic foot, two stressed syllable followed by one unstressed syllable. Then trochaic foot. Okay, dactylic foot. Let me see by dactylic. One stressed syllable followed by two stress. Okay. Then trochaic foot, one stress and one stress. That is how we do it. Then don't forget those ones. Don't forget those ones. Right. Another thing is this. Something oxymoron, hyperbole, rhythm. Euphemism is a figurative device used when a hash statement is presented in a mild form. When a hash statement is presented in a mild form, that's euphemism. It is used when a hash statement is presented in a mild form. When a hash statement is presented in a mild form. And or you can say when an unpleasant statement is presented in a pleasant form. When an unpleasant statement is presented in a pleasant form. That is euphemism. When a hash statement is presented in a mild form, pleasant statement presented in a pleasant form. That's euphemism. Then hyperbole, figure of exaggeration. That one should be opposite of like this. Figure of exaggeration. You see, hyperbole is a figure of is where it's overstatement. You know. Oh boy. So hyperbole is a figure of exaggeration. So you know if you know what, it will be very clear. You know, just believe. Just believe. So long as you understand the fact that hyperbole is a figure of exaggeration, when it is used, when a small thing sometimes also gain too much attention, you capture the attention. You capture it just for it to gain attention. That is it. You know. I've done, in fact, some of look at one hyperbole. Some of those are your relatives. By the time you want to talk, you see, there is nothing I have not done for this child. That's the best laugh, you know. I have done everything. That's hyperbole. That's overstatement. But they are trying to express a point. They are trying to let the world know that they really tried, you know, hyperbole. Then you look at the next rhythm. Rhythm is the beat in poetry. Rhythm is different rhyme. Rhythm is the beat in poetry. Rhyme is the resemblance of sound in poetry. Like rhythm is the beat in poetry. While rhyme is the correspondence of sound, rhythm is the beat in poetry. It's the beat in poetry. Rhyme correspondence sound, but rhythm is the beat in poetry. So let's touch another one. Genre. What I say genre is class. We have literature can be said to be divided into three classes. That is the class of drama, the class of prose, the class of poetry. In the sense that literature has three genres: the drama, prose, and poetry. So when you say genre, talking about class, the group put something, the group where you can group things into. Now we move down to verse. Did you understand that verse can also stand as poetry, poem. A verse can be said to be a poem. A poem can be said to be a verse. They are all to make life easy for you. A verse can be said to be a poem. A poem can be said to be a verse. They are all the same to make life easy for you. That's it. That's it. Verse. And looking at verse, you need to see three major verses. Like the verse, the verse, and the preverse. So now, we'll talk about style. Talking about style. Style is used to determine the level of creativity which an author has employed in his work. The style of an author determines how beautiful the work comes out. You understand? That's why you see poems, some books, some drama. You see styles, you see many sort of so on. So then some authors have style, but don't they have styles, you know? That is it. So that is the style of author largely determines how the work will turn out. They have the diction. Diction is the writer's choice of words. 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 Yes, that's the best thing to do. Yeah. Clarify. Diction is the writer's choice of words. One revelation. Even if you're not saying it, be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Diction is the writer's choice of words. The poet's choice of words. Diction is a poet's choice of words. Diction is a poet's choice of words. That's diction. The choice of words. Diction. So, the beauty of a poem lies chiefly on its diction. Okay, let's see. See facets and facets. Facets and facets. If you take note here, the facet helps us to understand that a stanza of 6 lines is a sestet. A stanza of 6 lines is a sestet. A stanza of 6 lines is a sestet. For instance, one day only as cloud, this one Arabian hills. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. They said they like beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. That is it. Then we have go tell the church. Shows what's good and not no good. Go tell the court it blows and shines rotting wood. If court and church reply, they give them both the lie. Go tell the church shows what's good and not no good. Go tell the court it blows and shines like rotting wood. If court and church reply, then give them both the lie. That's 6 lines stanza. Stanza of 6 lines.